The Prime Minister has ridiculed the Coalition's nuclear power pitch, arguing it will lead to economic catastrophe. Trudy McIntosh is live in the studio, and you've got cost of living on the one hand, but this is a real battle line ahead of the next election.
Oh, it certainly is. Peter Dutton saying he's happy for this to be a referendum on his policy. A big pitch from Mr Dutton, one that has been ridiculed today by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese here on Sky News. He believes that this would amount to economic catastrophe, pointing to the big holes and open questions we were left with after Mr Dutton's announcement yesterday. Locking in 7 nuclear-powered sites across the country. He says that they could be up and running, the first 2, between 2035 and 2037. You can see the sites here across the country. But the Coalition at the moment won't say what the price tag is. The Prime Minister says a lot of these sites, and he points it out, that they already have plans to move towards green energy. So how do you convince them to sell the asset? This was the Prime Minister.
This is farcical, frankly, Kieran. This is economic catastrophe. Now you would have us believe that a mob who'd struggle to assemble an IKEA flat pack are going to start from scratch and be able to develop a nuclear energy industry in Australia.
In the fallout of the policy being released, we've seen Labor MPs lining up on social media to make fun of the Coalition's announcement. We saw this from Julian Hill, the Labor MP, using the Coalition's own tactics in the successful defeat of the Voice referendum, saying if you don't know, vote no. And then this controversial post from Andrew Lee, a 3-eyed blinky Bill standing in front of a reactor. This is getting quite a lot of angry response from members of the Coalition. They argue that sort of rhetoric, that sort of image undermines the AUKUS nuclear-powered submarine program. This is Phil Thompson.
Is this the scare campaign you really want to go down? Because are you saying that our submariners are now going to have 3 eyes because they'll be on a nuclear-powered submarine? The answer is no. This is just another scare campaign.
It's a serious issue, isn't it? So would you urge your colleagues to steer clear of some of that?
We're not going to take lectures, Kieran. We're not going to take lectures from the Coalition that are out there running scare campaigns about everything. Every issue is an opportunity for them to steer away from the facts. Look, this is an announcement without any detail.
And Peter Dutton also forced to clarify some remarks from within his own ranks as to how they're going to manage the communities affected.
Well, initially there was a lot of discussion about community consultation, but it seems pretty clear that that's not really ultimately what's going to happen. Peter Dutton saying these are the 7 sites that have been locked in, forced to overrule those comments from Perrin Davey, the Deputy Nationals leader here on Sky News yesterday, where she said if one of these communities was adamant that they didn't want a nuclear power plant, that then that wouldn't proceed. Mr Dutton saying that's wrong. He believes ultimately, though, the Australian people broadly and these specific communities will be won over by the benefits that will flow from nuclear power.
We've identified the 7 locations and we believe it's in the community's best interest and in the national interest for it to proceed. We will consult about the benefits, frankly, for those communities and how we can help revitalise some of those towns.
There is a note of caution, though, Kieran, I'd have to say, when it comes to community consultation. The Coalition has successfully been able to point to in the renewables rollout that at times they've felt like it's been foisted upon them, these sorts of projects. They want to be careful when framing this policy that they're not seen to be doing exactly that when it comes to nuclear power as well.
Yeah, it's a good point, Trudy.